Chief Justice, suspended Chief Justice is taking her destiny into her own hands, taking it up to, as it were, file this an interlocutory injunction that has been done as about 3:15 p.m. earlier today. That is the time that we have on the court documents that we have.
God bless our homeland Ghana and then help us to be great and then strong. The Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, right now we don't know her stand. You need to person to question. So person no. This is the BJ show with What in Your Sons. Do well to subscribe, share the link, tell others about the BJ show, and the next thing is you do well to leave a comment. Now somebody asked, said they are the partners. Now the Chief Justice of Ghana, yes, her Ladyship Justice Tokonu, was here another letter, and I said, what petition for the Akoma Court, which is the Supreme Court, said they should make sure say and take the case in national, which is the investigation committee now in the case in national. They should make sure that they suspend 2 people from this case, and I said from this committee. Like the opposition now, they said the committee should not investigate her. The land of possibilities. This is Ghana for you. Because we will be the Asama to Oswa. I will say, Yeshishem has a ampa, ayanokre, and I say yanokre. See, Yeshishem say, and yanokre, any madam, hooray, yenina, yababwa, not just Yakodenya, Kupawase. Nemum say, Yeshishemus ness, any yanokre, so the any, only Mr. Assalamu alaikum. Her Ladyship, Justice Tokunu, this is the 5th time that there has been a petition to stop investigation or suspending her. Hey, the last one, you no longer say moon at a Supreme Court said, or no longer say more shiny Mabia, I will say Supreme Court is stopping the whole thing. Penny are investigating, I think Zunkophobia woman, I will say a zero free board and so, like they should not be part of the committee, also Mutian answered. The question is, these 2 people, like, do they qualify or they don't qualify? And then number 2, why is it that the Chief Justice is trying to stop the committee from investigating her? Hey, I would say, the Supreme Court of Ghana. This is the BJ show with What in Your Sons. Do well to subscribe, share the link, tell others about the BJ show, and the next thing is you leave a comment.
Chief Justice, suspended Chief Justice is taking her destiny into her own hands, taking it up to, as it were, file this an interlocutory injunction that has been done as about 3:15 p.m. earlier today. That is the time that we have on the court documents that we have a copy of. Going to show you portions of it shortly. This interlocutory injunction at the Supreme Court has been filed earlier today, seeking to halt the work of the 5-member committee established by the president to inquire into the 3 petitions against her removal from office. Later we got to know that the petitions are 5 as we speak. Well, also the number of suits or the applications seeking to halt this process that is underway, this one adding up by the Chief Justice increases the numbers to 5. 4 of them have been dismissed. Now, in this suit filed earlier today by the suspended Chief Justice, we have a copy of it cited by us. Justice Gertrude Tokunu is praying the court for a number of reliefs in order to restrain the committee from taking any action in connection with the prima facie case determined against her. We have the full details of the reliefs, quite a number of reliefs that she's seeking. We're going to go through them one after the other. But now then, it's good to have you. Good evening. Thank you.
Always a pleasure being here.
Always good to have you join us. And let's establish this first of all. In what capacity is the suspended Chief Justice filing this application?
Well, so from what we see on the record, she's doing this in a capacity as a citizen of Ghana.
As a citizen?
Yes, whose rights have been infringed upon multiple times, and that you would see that endorsed in the application that is before the courts, also in the writ of summons that she has also filed at the Supreme Court.
Interesting stuff. Now, but I know you're going to do a recall of all the other applications that have sought to stop the process that is underway to hear the petitions against her, and then also that process seeking her removal. How many so far?
So far, this will be the 5th one, and that's in respect of the injunction applications. But mind you, for every injunction application that has been put before the court, it means that there's a substantive suit, because injunction applications do not go alone.
Absolutely.
There always has to be a case. So we have counted 5, and this is the 5th one from Justice Gertrude Tukono herself, her ladyship. And this time around, she comes as the plaintiff in the substantive matter and the applicant in the matter of the injunction application. And this is yet to be heard, as you have seen. And this will be the 5th one. You've seen the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So the 3rd and the 4th ones were heard earlier today. We'll come into that matter.
Absolutely.
But what we're having to deal with now is this injunction application by the Chief Justice. I mean, there's still not been a date when this will be heard, but it's been filed. We have the injunction application, we have a copy of the writ of summons itself. So basically, this is what you see. And the relief that she's seeking, generally...
Very interesting stuff, and let's get into that.
Yes,
maybe...
but first off, let's establish who the parties are, because this presents a different dynamics to what we have seen earlier. Because in the earlier suit, you would see that it is the Attorney General, or in some instances, the Attorney General, and then the chairman of the committee, that is his Lordship, Justice Poamang. And in today's one, there was an addition of Justice Gertrude Tukono herself as a defendant. However, what we see here, it now adds all the members of the committee as respondents in the injunction application, and of course defendants in the writ of summons itself.
And that's in her ladyship Gertrude Tukono's interlocutory injunction application.
Yes.
These are the respondents.
These are the respondents.
The Attorney
So in addition to the Attorney General, you have Justice Gabriel Poamang, you have Justice Samuel Adibu Eseidu, you have Daniel Yademolevu, you have Major Flora Dalugu, and you have Professor James Sefa Jifa. These are the respondents in this injunction application.
But these are the members of the 5-member committee.
Yes, so take out the Attorney General. The rest are the members of the committee that has been put together by the President together with the Council of State to inquire into the petitions that are seeking the removal of the Chief Justice, now suspended. And that is actually the reason for which we are having to deal with this particular matter. Let's look at what exactly she wants by way of this particular injunction.
Right.
Who should be injuncted and what exactly. So, one, that she wants a restraining order directed at the committee set up by the President to inquire into the 3 petitions against the plaintiff composed. So it mentions all the respondents in there who are the committee members. From proceeding with an inquiry, taking any action in connection with the determination of a purported prima facie case made against the plaintiff. Purported prima facie case made against the plaintiff. When we begin to talk about what happened in court today, we'll put this into proper context. Just so our viewers can appreciate what's already happening.
Absolutely.
Now, there's another one, a relief.
No, but then let's go back a bit. Does the use of the word purported mean in any way that her ladyship Gertrude Tukono does not appreciate or acknowledge the fact that a prima facie case has been established against her?
It would appear so. And I say so because in court today, in one of the injunction applications which was brought by the CSO, which is Center for Constitutional Center for Citizenship, Constitutional and Electoral Systems.
Absolutely.
In which the ladyship was the second respondent. There was an issue where her lawyer indicated that the crux of their matter was that there was no prima facie case determination made against her. And they were categorical about that.
I see, but then that would raise a number of questions.
Even though the applicants in that matter, the CSOs, the lawyer, their argument was that, yes, they acknowledged that there was a determination of a prima facie case, except that the determination was not served on her.
Yeah.
And to that extent, they said the whole process was a nullity. That was the crux of their argument.
I see.
Now, the Chief Justice lawyer, who seemed to agree with the arguments of the applicants, and that's the CSOs, say that yes, for them, they do not even acknowledge that
there was a prima facie
case. And it took quite some time to make that argument. But of course, there was a point where there was a measure that yes, indeed, the arguments you are making fall in line with that of the applicants. But they insist that as far as they are concerned, there was no determination of a prima facie case. And they argue strongly that for a determination to be made, certain things have to be done, including giving reasons. And to the extent that there were no reasons given to them as to how they arrived at that conclusion, and even with the petitions, which ones ended up making the prima facie case, and even with the allegations in each, which of them, that to that extent, they do not think a prima facie case had been established. And more so, they say they did not get a copy of it. So the question was, if we do not get a copy of
the prima facie case,
what exactly was she supposed to be responding to? So that was the argument that the lawyer was making then as a defendant in this case. So from that point, it really gives a clear picture of how lawyers for the Chief Justice are proceeding on this particular matter.
Which has resulted in what we're
it's
saying.
not surprising to see this relief describing the prima facie case determination as purported. And Alfred, just to add, the argument was premised on the fact that they only saw a communication of the purported prima facie case determination from the presidency.
I see.
So they make reference to the letters that were issued from the presidency announcing the determination of the prima facie case. They say that cannot be the prima facie case, but that was just an announcement of a purported prima facie case determination. It was quite an interesting one in court today, Alfred.
You sat through that court hearing.
Yes, I did.
But let's flip through the next.
Yes, so the next is an order restraining the second and third respondents from presiding over. Now, second and third respondents, let's go back. Yes, so we appreciate this. Now, second and third, Justice Gabriel Palmer and Justice Samuel Adibu Esedu, these are the two that, beyond seeking to restrain the whole committee, she specifically wants these two to be restrained.
Why is that?
We'll find out later.
So that's Ghana for you, and the land of possibilities. As I say, the assembly will be soon back home and see a bishop. I'm a who's assembly and credit, and I say no credit. But Chief Justice, the rest of person will see preventing your mabino. Because right now, even though say NDC for one and as I say John Mahama Cassett, but national the year Juma, you know politicians, they are going to frame you. Right now, if the president say that, all right, I've stopped, Mobra, never year Juma, Madam Tukunu, I am sure someone will in your office. Once they say so, you don't know politicians. Madam, you know, this is the BJ Show with Watching Johnson. Do what to subscribe, share the link, tell others about the BJ Show, and the next thing is you leave a comment. But if say Madam Tokonu, it's me the Bemo 70 and yet the Sunday in Nabako IGCG. It's the IGCG. Let's just say a condemn coupon once a year, him actually a coupon with it. One name Madame Eddie ye. Next year, Shemusness and Sanso and Ocredia. Hooray. Thank you very much.